Welcome back to Sensuality. Today we're going to talk about the first perfume that I ever made. So this is the first perfume that I ever made, and I have to say I was incredibly pleased with this perfume. I remember making this perfume and being incredibly proud of it. It did spur me on to make another perfume and another perfume and another perfume. Despite it not being made with the best ingredients, not being made with the greatest of knowledge, but for my first perfume, I think that this really helped me to gain some confidence to make another perfume and to dive deeper into perfumery. So yeah, what do I want to say about this perfume? I think that this perfume is fairly linear. I think that it is quite magical. It has a very interesting smell. It is very you know, the top notes definitely catch your attention. I didn't buy very expensive materials, wanting to keep the cost down, not really knowing what I was doing, but you know, I knew that I wanted to try and make a perfume. So basically what I did, I researched online oils that specifically mixed well with each other. So oils in the base notes, the heart notes, the top notes, all oils across all three divisions of the perfume that, you know, were known to blend well together. And yeah, basically I didn't really set out to make a masculine perfume. I didn't set out to make a feminine perfume, but I did really want to make something that I wanted to wear. But I thought, you know, it's more important to understand how a perfume works, so it's best to buy ingredients that go well together and, you know, just see what happens. So this is what I did, but because I wanted to keep the cost down, I bought oils from China. Now, buying things directly from China via Amazon, never a good idea, no matter what you're buying. But yeah, definitely when you are buying oils, you do not want to be buying them via Amazon from China. Now, I bought, I can't remember all of the oils that I bought, but I bought a frankincense, I bought a neroli, I bought neroli for about $3, which is quite laughable. This is before I knew how much neroli was. But yeah, neroli, I bought a lavender, a rosemary, yeah, I can't really remember what else I bought, but anyway, what happened was I bought these oils. I bought about 15 of them. I basically didn't know how to make a perfume. I was able to find one video on YouTube where somebody was actually making a perfume as you know, a perfume that you would find in a store to buy. He was making it in the same exact way, and he has a very popular perfume channel, and I believe he has his own line now. So yeah, he was my inspiration, and his name escapes me right now, but I will put his YouTube channel below and I will put his name on the screen now. But yeah, he really broke it down. I was able to get a little bit of inspiration from that. So basically I just started blending. Started with my base notes, went on to the heart notes, and then to the top notes. I used a little bit of knowledge that I gained from him, a little bit of knowledge that I gained from other websites online, which now I know didn't give the best advice, but anyway, I was just, you know, trying to start. I was trying to do it simply. I wasn't doing it by weight, so I was making my perfume by drops. So I think I started with something like 200 drops in my perfume, and I think, I don't know, if that made like a 50 milliliter bottle of perfume in accordance to this website that I was getting this information from. So I think I had about 100 drops in the base, and I had 50 in the heart and 50 in the top, or I'm not sure if I stuck exactly to that, but that was basically what I was going for. And I made the perfume. And I was very pleased with it. I smelled it, and I was, you know, it really excited me because I could smell the top notes. I could smell, you know, them evaporating into the heart notes, and then I could smell the dry down in the base notes. And, you know, I really, you know, I made it, and I, you know, observed how it behaved. And that really excited me because, you know, it was a practical, it wasn't in my head anymore. You know, it was becoming a reality. I made a perfume, and, you know, it's probably the first time that I was just appreciating a perfume for what it is, not just something that has a general smell that you say you like. I was appreciating each note. I was appreciating the alchemy. I was appreciating, you know, the thought that I had put into it. And I was really acknowledging the fact that it was an art form, and it was a creative endeavor, and it wasn't just something that you walk into a store and you buy. So yeah, it really brought perfume to life for me. But what happened was, about a couple of weeks later, my wife, she obtained an essential oil from a different place, and it was one of the essential oils that I used, and I just happened to smell her essential oil and realized that it didn't smell anything like the essential oil that I had. I think it was lavender, and this caused me some concern, and that just basically sat in the back of my head for about a week. And then my wife just happened to purchase another essential oil, and this was another oil that I had used. I believe it was rosemary. And yeah, again, it was completely different. It had a completely different smell. And at this point I was like, this doesn't seem to be the oils that I used. Perhaps they're not, you know, what they say they are. They said that they were 100% natural essential oils, but now I had smelled 2 other oils from a different supplier, and they didn't smell anything like the oils that I had. So what I decided to do was to repurchase those 15 materials, but get them from a supplier that was a bit closer to home. And I got them from a supplier who was basically providing people with oils and, you know, other materials to people specifically who were making cosmetics. So this I thought was a much better idea. So I got the oils, and lo and behold, all 15 oils didn't smell anything like the 15 oils that I bought from China. So yeah, don't buy anything from China. Try not to buy anything via Amazon. You don't really know where things are coming from. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it. You know, I had made this perfume, and with what I thought were inferior oils, but, you know, putting them up against the new oils that I bought, they weren't just inferior, they were something else. They were completely different. They were imposters. They weren't what they said they were on the label. So as you can imagine, the next thing I did was I remade that perfume using the 15 materials, again, the new ones that I had just bought, making it in the exact same way, the same formula, everything the same. So I did that, and what did I get? Nothing the same. The perfume didn't smell anything like the original perfume that I had made. It didn't have the same tenacity. It didn't have the same projection. It didn't smell the same. It was flat. You know, you could smell the quality difference. You could smell that these were better quality materials. It had a finer smell to it, but it didn't have the same chemistry. It didn't, you know, the oils weren't reacting the same. They weren't behaving the same. And yeah, I couldn't believe it. I thought, oh, you know, I thought I had really understood something, and now I have to, you know, start again from the beginning. But, you know, this was a really valuable lesson to be had. And I still don't know what those oils were, but, you know, I think frankincense was the biggest one. It had a completely different smell. You know, some of the other oils, you could sort of say, yeah, they're in a kind of the same ballpark-ish, but yeah, frankincense, not at all. It was a completely different smell. Now I know what frankincense actually smells like, but yeah, in the beginning, it smelled completely different when I had those oils from China. So, lesson there is, don't buy anything from China. Buy your oils from a reputable supplier. I would buy them from people who supply people who make cosmetics, you know, buy them from those kinds of places, or, you know, directly from people who sell oils to make perfume with. You know, there are some of them around. Yeah, you know, don't buy your oils from China. It's, you know, I love this perfume because it was the first perfume I ever made. So this perfume, it's just such a fantastic smell. I wish you could smell it. It's very, very interesting. It's not something I would wear, but it's just such an invigorating smell, whatever it is, you know. I thought maybe that they were essential oils that had been diluted, but now I think perhaps they were more chemical than anything else. But yeah, it has such an interesting smell. It's a smell which inspires me to make perfume because, you know, the top notes really do capture you, and, you know, top notes are there to entice you. And yeah, this perfume does that. So I keep this perfume. I don't wear it. I never will. But yeah, it's a symbol. It's my inspiration, and yeah, it encouraged me to learn more, to work more with my intuition, and just to, you know, make another perfume. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Now, as with all the arts, I think perfume is something people can become quite pretentious about. It's one thing to have respect for what you spend your time doing, but the ego can so easily inflate. It doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, or whether or not you think you have any talent. Creativity is a force you work with, you feel it, you let it take hold of you, and you begin your journey of learning, which always takes time. For me, this is the only difference between the amateur and the professional. If you devote lots of time to understanding how to do something, you will learn how to do it, but only if you keep learning until you do. If you expect to pick up a guitar and play like Jimi Hendrix in just a few moments, you know, you'll be sadly mistaken. Or if you want to write a song like Bob Dylan when you've only spent 2 weeks writing songs, then again, you'll be sadly mistaken, you'll be disappointed. You know, it's about wanting to understand how something works and understanding that you have to give your attention to it. Nothing worth doing is easy, and, you know, easy makes no impression on us. We develop through journeys, and everyone standing in the limelight has been on a journey for quite some time. So, yeah, persevere, you know. It's not an immediate thing, it's just something that you want to do, a way of expressing yourself. It's, you know, working with a creative energy, building your intuition. It's alchemy, it's discovery, and, you know, there are no rules to it. Anybody can be creative. There is a great video by well, it's an interview with John Frusciante. It's on YouTube. I'll put a link below. And he is talking about that creative energy. And in that video, he doesn't give himself any credit for, you know, working with the creative energy. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't give himself credit for creating anything. He talks about the energy. Now, you know, there are skills to be learned and honed. And he sat, you know, playing guitar for a lot of years. He sat trying to play really complicated riffs for a lot of years, and he built up skills. But he explains about being on stage and being in tune with that creative energy, and he is feeling it, he is not thinking about it, and he just, you know, tunes into that channel. And I am inclined to agree with him. I feel the same about creativity, which is why that I feel that things already exist, you know, perfumes already exist, and what you are doing is just discovering those perfumes. You are discovering what happens when you put a certain amount of this with a certain amount of that, and you know, you're blending things, you're building things, and at some stage you get to a point where your formula smells like this, and it always would have smelt like that if you know, putting those quantities, you know, those different types of materials together, they were always going to have that reaction. They were always going to smell like that. So for me, I look at creative things like that, you know. It's so easy for the ego to overtake. You know, if you look at the music industry, the first thing they do when they sign an artist is that they project this image of them being godly. You know, they give you something to worship so that you will buy the product. But, you know, anybody can be creative. You know, we are all human. We all have the ability to tune into this energy, to sit with our own intuition and to build it. You know, nobody owns that. It's yours, it's mine, it's everybody's. It's just hanging in the ether. And yeah, like everything in the world, in what you call reality, it's just there to be experienced, and anybody can experience it. You don't have to come from a certain type of background. You don't have to, you don't even have to have any money to begin, you know. There's another video by Stephen from Perfumers World. It's on YouTube, and he talks about the moment when you know that you are a perfumer, and it's really great because it's not about going to a perfumery school. It's not about spending lots of money on materials, you know. You could be making perfume in the simplest way and you can be a perfumer. So, you know, I'll put a link to that video, and you really need to watch it to understand exactly what I'm talking about and to appreciate the sentiment behind what Stephen says. You know, I'm just regurgitating it very simply, but you really need to hear what he has to say in his own words. For me, it was very magical to hear, and it also inspired me to continue. But yeah, if you want to make perfume, you know. Just like if you want to play the guitar, get a guitar, learn to play the guitar. If you want to play the piano, get a keyboard, learn to play the keyboard, learn to play the piano, you know. You can do whatever you want to do. There are no rules. It's creativity. If it works, it works. So, you know, just be your own inspiration, inspire yourself, have some confidence, and, you know, don't expect to make something wonderful the first time you make a perfume. I've made lots of things that didn't work, and the reason is because there is no rule book. There is nothing really to teach you how to make perfume. There are some basic information. The rest is your own experimentation. It's your own intuition. You build an awareness for it, and you know, that's it. That's how you gain your knowledge. You gain knowledge from going on your own journey, not from hearing it from somebody else. Not you know, you can go to perfumer school, but you can do it at home. You can do it by yourself. You can teach yourself. You can learn along the way, you know. So just do it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Be your own inspiration. Make perfume. Go out into the world. Do whatever you want to do. Spend your life doing what you want to do. You can make perfume just like the perfume you buy in a store. You can. It's made in the same exact way. You might not make one of those perfumes straight away, but yeah, I've made things that I smell and I'm like, oh, that smells great. I really, really like that. And I appreciate it in the same sort of way. I have a reverence for it. I can recognize that it's much better than the 5 perfumes back that I made, you know. That perfume that I thought, that smells all right. This one smells great. And you can build in an awareness for what smells good and what doesn't. Again, that comes with time. But yeah, be your own inspiration and you can make perfume.